Welcome back. My guest today on the show is Emma Andrews, the Chief Commercialization Officer of BevCanna. Welcome, Emma.
Thank you for having me.
So, for those who don't know, can you start by telling us a bit about BevCanna?
Absolutely. So we are a BC-based company. We are a manufacturer and branding creator of infused beverage products. We have a bottling plant that's based out of Osoyoos, BC, which is technically in Bridesville. So if anyone's been to the BC interior, beautiful wine country, over 100 vineyards in the area. The bottling plant itself is actually on a site with cultivation as well. So in essence, we are a vertically integrated manufacturer for infused beverages.
Can you tell me a little bit about the deal with Nextleaf?
We recently signed a supply agreement with Nextleaf Solutions. So they're based in Port Coquitlam, another BC-based company focused on the next generation of products for legalization 2.0. They will be our extraction and water solubility partner for all the cannabinoids we'll infuse into our portfolio of beverages. And why we're really pleased to work with them is their differentiated extraction technology validated through a patented process. So this allows us to use a tasteless, odorless, colorless distillate that will be converted into a water-soluble cannabinoid format for infusion into our beverages. And as a brand creator, that means a lot to me because it means we don't have to use a lot of additives, flavor masking in our end products. So we'll be able to create very clean formulations using their input material.
So what's the big problem you're solving? I was reading an article talking about weed water. What is that?
That's what I think people are used to seeing in the market, especially if you've traveled down in the US and tried some of the early stage beverages that are appearing in the market down there. Essentially, when we say weed water, it's a beverage that's made with a crude extract. So there's still a lot of the impurities coming through in terms of the aroma or the odor of cannabis. This could be from chlorophyll or from lipids. So a less refined or purified input material. So the beverages that we will be launching here in Canada and subsequently in the US, you won't taste the weed. So you'll taste the flavor profiles, whether it's iced tea or a botanical infusion. So a lot more analogous to beverages you're used to consuming in the natural health product category or the functional beverage category.
And you have two brands, one focused on CBD and THC, is that right?
Yes, we announced two brands. We actually have a couple more in our coffers that we'll launch soon, but the first two we've launched are called Groove, which is an iced tea line, and this is a balanced cannabinoid profile of THC and CBD, lower potency, so a very easy drinking line, great for new consumers. And then the second line we launched is called Anarchist Mountain Beverages, which is actually an ode to the site of the bottling plant in Osoyoos. It's on Anarchist Mountain. And that's a THC dominant beverage line. And that one's really all about the Pacific Northwest. So flavor profiles you'd find throughout BC, very naturally inspired. And that's a sparkling spring water with artisanal flavors.
Well, sounds delicious. Can you talk a little bit about some of the infrastructure you have set up? I know you've made quite an investment.
So we actually are making use of an existing bottling facility, which gives us an early mover advantage in this space in Canada. It's a 40,000 square foot facility, world-class facility. The bottling line is capable up to 72 million units per year. That's with one shift, so there's obviously lots of untapped potential and room to grow. And one of the things we're really proud of is actually the spring water aquifer that's on site. So this will be used to infuse all of our beverages. That will be the base medium that we're using in our beverages. Pristine alkaline spring water, so absolutely crisp taste and a true testament to what BC has to offer.
Great. And let's talk a little bit about the team you've assembled. I read you have some excellent brand people that worked in similar space in, I guess, Mike's Hard and Vega. Is that right?
Yeah. So my own background is actually through Vega. I'm a nutritionist, so I started working at Vega in education and product development, really helping to make sure that the ingredients were sourced well, that the formulations had integrity behind them. Was part of the team that worked towards an acquisition by White Wave Foods. So it was a fantastic ride and learned so much through that process. I also got gratefully to work with Don Chisholm, who is our Chief Innovation Officer at BevCanna. So I worked with him at Vega for a rebrand through his firm called Dossier. So Don is now joined with myself at BevCanna. And his background is 30 years in the beverage industry, creating brands like Mike's Hard Lemonade. So we have experience in the nutraceutical category, natural health products, alcohol. And then the team at BevCanna also represents a brand portfolio called Trace Beverages. This is a non-infused product line that's bottled out of the existing facility in Osoyoos. And it's the first Health Canada natural health product in a functional beverage format. So again, a great depth of expertise in creating brands that resonate on a global scale. So I think we're very well poised to create these next generation of products for the infused landscape.
Well, sounds like an excellent leadership team. Can you talk a little bit about your revenues? Are you selling products yet? Are you waiting for the government to change the rules? Is that right?
Yeah, so we have a dual strategy in Canada and the US. So in Canada, we're obviously waiting for the regulations to take effect for the infused product category. Right. Not long now, 17 days as of today, October 1st. Once that takes effect, that's the first date that companies can submit their products to Health Canada for subsequent approval. So it won't be immediately we see these products in market. BevCanna is at the final evidence submission stage for our standard processing license as well. So one more milestone for us to achieve before we can submit our products to Health Canada for Canadian distribution. In the US, we've also been validating a water-soluble powder, actually, so a beverage drink mix that we'll be able to manufacture and distribute for the California market through regulated retail. And we anticipate launching a pilot run of this first brand we'll launch down in the US under this infused powder, and that will be in Q4 of 2019, so we will be in revenue this year.
As far as news coming, what are you most looking forward to?
We recently actually announced a agreement with Clearwater Can Grow, which will be our cultivator for our outdoor grow in Canada. And so we're very excited to get this site ready for cultivation next summer. It will be one of the largest outdoor cultivation sites in BC. And this really ties into our story of wanting to not only play up to the BC economy and BC cannabis economy specifically. We have such a strong reputation for cannabis cultivation in this province. But our head grower, Joey Bedard-Brunet, is a fantastic farmer. He's been growing cannabis and hemp for decades now. And so bringing his expertise onto the team, I think, really adds to our position in being able to not only cultivate infuse products and create brands as part of our vertical, but really speaks to just harnessing the beauty and the power of that region, which I think is a fantastic attribute for the brands themselves. And certainly would love to have you up there in the spring when it's nicer than the fall. It's raining out there right now, so maybe in the spring we'll have you up and you can check out the facility, check out the first crop as we plant.
Absolutely, that would be a lot of fun. Well, thanks so much, Emma. Really appreciate your time. That's all the time we have. But let's do this again sometime, and looking forward to watching BevCanna grow.
Thanks so much.